again. Diamond say, still don't wanna see you breathe again. Manifest all this, I live my life within everything I complete a pen. What I want, I get no slack, just push, I bet my wave stay premium. My lyrics steady potent and your bitch be steady posing, yeah. Think you got a trophy.
What's up, peeps? You checking out some Injustice 2 gameplay because you know as well as me that Injustice 3 is in speculation right now. There is rumors of an Injustice 3 in the making. So this is my NRS title, okay? I like MK a lot, okay? But the direction and where they're going with MK, I really don't like the sluggish gameplay. I used to think this game was clunky and sluggish, but now I see, coming back to it, I just see the fluidness of the game, the crispiness, the cinematics of it. And you know, I know that MK11 is a very cinematic game. It's a very beautiful game, but it still is not fast enough for me to hold my interest there. You see what I'm saying? You know, I think that Injustice 2 is very slept on. I don't know why it just kind of faded into obscurity. But I do feel like this game, if you have this game, you should definitely dust it off and really get into it. You know what I mean? And I don't know if it'll ever be like tournament again, but it's still a great game for what it's worth. I mean, great story, great character models, you know, great cast. I mean, the cast is, I mean, there's so much variation, you know, in this game. I feel like NRS really did outdo themselves with Injustice 2, and I hope that they do such a good job with Injustice 3. I can't really wait until I am able to play it. But a little bit about my personal experience with Injustice. Like I said, I never really took Injustice as serious as Street Fighter, and now I'm just now getting into Tekken. I've been taking a little break on Tekken for a little while, just trying to focus primarily on Street Fighter. But I feel like this has those kind of Street Fighter elements in it, you know, as far as holding back to block and things of that nature, and how the combo strings are. You know, I just feel like there's so much going on in Injustice that is not going on in MK11, and that's what's like making me not want to play MK11. I mean, I like what I'm seeing from the Aftermath stuff, you know, like Fujin. I think Fujin's character development is a step in the right direction for MK. I've seen some cool stuff with Shiva as well. Not really too hype about RoboCop. I mean, Terminator, RoboCop, it's pretty much robotic stuff. I mean, but that's the problem with you know, MK. It just feels too robotic. It doesn't feel fluent enough. It feels, you know, like constricting and, you know, restrictive. I mean, whatever ways I can name to describe what's going on in it. You know, it's simple. It's not, you know, I understand the character models are bigger than these character models in this game. I mean, like where the camera's panned at and how big the models are, how much space you have to move and things like that. It's just, you know, I just feel like it's just mad sluggish. I can't get into it, you know what I mean? I want to be able to get into it, and I want to buy in, you know, but I want to, as a fighting game player and a person that loves Mortal Kombat, has played every single iteration of Mortal Kombat, I would love to play Mortal Kombat 11, but guess what? It's just not worth my fucking time. I feel like it's just not doing what Injustice is doing for me, you know. And I understand this is why NetherRealm has 2 titles going on right now. I mean, you really don't see a lot of gaming companies with 2 titles. I mean, you got SNK with Samurai Showdown now, and King of Fighters, new King of Fighters on the horizon. But I mean, as far as Capcom, you know, Capcom is doing Marvel, and you know, Marvel's pretty dead right now, even though Marvel's a gem, you know, in terms of the older titles. I mean, it's never gonna die. I mean, people are gonna fucking play Marvel until they're in the grave, probably beyond it. But so as far as NRS games go, Injustice is probably my style of game, and maybe when the new MK releases and they figure out all the stuff that didn't make MK11 a success, they will understand. I mean, everybody bought into the story, right? You know, that was the main thing with the story. But when, you know, real fighting game players is getting into the system and the mechanics of the game, it's just lackluster, you know. And I don't know, I can't really vouch for it. I mean, I'm just simply saying what I see in tournament, what I see on the screen, it's not hype. When you see Injustice, you know, even though Injustice got really lame too with Deadshot and stuff like that, it got really fucking lame with projectile spam. But there was a sense of hype around Injustice 1 and Injustice 2. People were legitimately excited to play it, besides all the projectile spam characters like you know, Deadshot and Slade, and you know what I mean, from Injustice 1. I mean, and then you got Dr. Fate in this one, which he's a nuisance too. But I'm just saying, I like the character variation, I like the archetypes, but I do not like this customization stuff that NRS has been doing across MK and Injustice. I mean, I think it's good for you to be able to, you know, style your character in whatever outfits and things that you unlock. I like that ability, but I don't like that ability to affect damage, strength, and vitality and things of that nature. I don't really like that. You see what I'm saying? And you know, variation is another thing that's killing MK. Okay, MK needs to go back to the roots and stop this variation stuff. You see what I'm saying? Just give us the pure form of the character, you know, all the attributes, all the assets that the character is able to do, and then just weigh the game on that. Stop taking away moves. Stop making moves accessible and inaccessible for a tournament, man, because that's botching the whole thing. Like, why are you putting it in the game if you can't even use it in tournament? Why would you do that? So in short, you're dividing a character into 2 or 3 parts depending on how many variations that the character has. I mean, people think it's fun, but I think it's just a gimmick. It's a gimmick to get you to extend your time playing the game, rather than they just include all of the move sets or the special moves or whatever you can do with the character. Just put it into one move set, okay? That's what these games need. Take a long gander at Tekken, and that is extremely intimidating for a player trying to get into Tekken, and that's why they call it that elitist thing going on in the community. You know, people that have been playing the game for more than a decade. So you take a look at this move list, and there's probably more than 80 moves in this list, okay? Stuff you can use, stuff, and half of that stuff is not even being used in game. I think that MK11 should expand. They need to stop this bare bones stuff. I mean, you have people creeping backward into the previous titles. You got people making MK9 content. Like, that's when you know your game is, I'm not saying it's bad, I'm just saying that it's in jeopardy. Just like with the whole Street Fighter 5 thing and people playing Street Fighter 4, and I'm so glad that Street Fighter 4 thing is just, it kind of reached its limit. You know, it's kind of at the end of the road. Even though people still play the game, it's not a lot of people bitching and complaining in the community talking about how much Street Fighter 4 is the better title than Street Fighter 5. I think that most of the community gets it. They've become acclimated to the way things ought to be now, okay? Nobody is going to be playing Street Fighter 4 only for casuals, only for fun, okay? So ending this rant, I want to thank everybody for checking out this video. Make sure that you smash that like button as you're sharing this content out. And this is just my hopes for the future of NRS titles. I want to see this Injustice 3 kill it, period. I want to see MK do better with its next iteration. I'm sorry for stuttering. But I hope that y'all agree with what I'm saying, the topics that I'm talking about in this video. So I am Deviant King, and I'll see y'all in the next video. I'm out. Make sure that you like it and comment and subscribing. I'm pulverizing the whole online world. Hit that bell. You already know what to do. Deviant King out.